Yes.
I think after last Sunday, I was left with a feeling or a state of kind of what is the purpose of anything and life, because I was like, okay, I don't have any friends, right? There is no such a thing as a career. It's like I go to work, to have perfect peace, yeah, I don't want to be in a relationship. So what is really the point of anything? Like, what do I do if nothing is really, everything is an illusion, the success and like having money, of course have money to be able to eat and live and all of that, but yeah, I had this like becoming very sober and then sitting with, yeah, what is really the purpose of anything then, right? Like going out, and if I'm invited to a party, why go? Because like this is all just fake in a way, right? And then
Right.
you're being there and having fake conversations about bullshit, right? So I was
About
like,
what?
what is the purpose of
About
me doing
what?
anything? Like, why don't I just like sit here and eat a sandwich and not do like the bare minimum, like yeah. And that's what kind of I was sitting with.
Amazing.
Last week.
Anybody else feel that way too? Tell me about it.
I feel the same way. I like my husband likes to, he likes to dive for lobster. So he's always like, oh, let's invite, his friends but it's like, I'm always like, God, like it's just boring, useless conversation, So, but I do it. But then I just sit there and go, oh, God, I'm so fake. Like it's just, I don't know if I'm going to see these people again. I will see them like once or twice.
But are you wondering, as she's doing, what's the purpose of life? I can't go to the party boring. My career means nothing except for to provide for me on earth. People are fake. And there's nothing real, so she's like, what's the purpose of life? You ever wonder that?
I don't think I go like, what's the purpose of life?
I mean,
I just think like, oh, these conversations are like, they're like empty.
Right.
There's no like deep, really about life. It's just, oh, how you doing? Oh, good. How's the weather?
Amazing. And so, what is the reason to be alive then? If nothing means nothing, nothing matters, and everything is fake.
I see it as like being an example.
Of what? Of living a fake life?
Of just like showing love, But, sometimes when I'm sitting there having those fake conversations, I'm like, well, I'm not doing it,
Yeah, it's hard to have fake conversations now. It really is. It used to not be hard, but it's hard now. You want the person to hurry up and go away. Okay, I gotta go now. Yes.
I've definitely had that same experience and that same thought. And then I watched the, oh my God, the show, the Jesus show, The Chosen. And I was also reading the Bible. I mean, Jesus went to weddings, and he was so.
He was what?
He went to the wedding. He was always around.
Jesus was in a wedding. Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
And that just reminded me that we're not maybe that's the devil putting an idea in your head.
No.
No.
So what?
It's not.
Well, maybe. It was not like, I didn't feel like, oh, what's the purpose of anything? It was more just nothingness in a way. Like, I was laughing at it, and I was talking to my friend who was watching the stream, and we were just laughing because all these different ideas of how we wanted to move forward, we were just questioning everything, because every route just is just made up in a way, right? So what is the purpose of me going to the party, because I know that, and again, it's more of a fascination, right? Like instead of sitting there thinking, oh, she's so fake, I'm like, wow. And I'm not seeing it as her, right? I just see the spirit going on and on and on and on and on. I was like, I'm just gonna sit here silently and see how long this spirit will go on. I was like, wow, she's going forever. You know, so it's more with it is with the lightness in my heart. It's not with the heaviness, but still, it's more like with that lightness. And I'm just questioning, what is then the purpose, right? Like, yeah, if my job is not a career and that's not the purpose, right? And if I'm getting married, I'm going to choose at least a little bit of hell. It might be a lot of hell, you know, and chaos. You know, okay, do I want that? Like, well, what do I choose from here, right? How do I move forward? And I was sitting with it, and I was just like, oh man, I don't know. Yeah.
Amazing. Yes.
I can relate 100% to what she's saying, and I believe, at least for myself, it's part of the process of just, you know, shedding that old nature, and as we're waking up naturally, we're going to, or I'll just speak for myself.
Yeah.
As I'm waking up, I'm finding that I don't know I don't know myself, so I'm getting to know myself. But what has been working for me is to just, as you say all the time, is just to be present, to just be present, do what's in front of me as I'm being present. And because of that, I've been having so much fun. I've had so much spontaneity pop up, and I've just been allowing, you know, doing my level best at least to allow God to kind of just guide me along. It's not always easy, and I do slip back into my old nature at times, and I'm bored, and I'm wondering what's up, and confusion comes about. But the moment I get centered and present is when I feel like he just guides me naturally.
So are you waiting on God? Waiting on
That's
God.
Catchy song by Hassan.
You said that you're getting to know yourself. And what is it that you're getting to know about yourself?
Just like this past week, pertaining to what she was just saying about, you know, what do I do? What's the point of going to the party? I'm one of those people, like I'll be in a setting and there will be this dead air, like the conversation will stop. Or I'll be walking with someone new, or whatever, engaging with someone, and the conversation pauses. And I'm the one who has to get it going again. So I'll just start talking about whatever it might be. This last week, I tasked myself to not do that. And every day I'm in a different location because I freelance. And I just let myself be uncomfortable in that moment. Didn't say a word. I allowed it to be silent. I have refused to do the whole small talk thing. If I don't have anything to say, I don't say anything. And it's been uncomfortable for me.
I was going to ask you, is it hard to stand there with the person or sit there and you have nothing to say?
Very.
And what's hard about that?
I just feel like I need to keep the conversation going. Otherwise, it's an expectation, and it's on me to do it because you're not going to do it. I'm a great conversationalist. I should be doing this, but that's all ego. So to let go of all of that and to be uncomfortable has been working out very well for me.
Oh, good.
But I did want to, may I ask
Yes.
one other thing, or just say something
No,
real quick?
sure,
And it's
no
that
problem.
it's pertaining to, I heard this conversation, I think it may have been on your radio show, where this conversation about Jesseisms is coming up, where people are saying, I've heard a few callers, and maybe even here at church, how, you know, I don't want to sound like Jesse, or, you know, I'm not myself if I sound like Jesse, but I do sound like you when I'm sharing this that's happening here.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. I'm
Nice.
okay with that because I don't prop you up on a pedestal, but you're the person who introduced me to this. So who else am I going to sound like?
Yeah.
There's no one else saying this. Of course I'm going to sound like you. So I just wanted to address that because I've been hearing a lot of that.
The people
going
who are
around.
saying that, they are blind, and they're just repeating something somebody else said. They just go from person to person, repeating. If somebody say, "You sound like Jesse," don't sound like Jesse. Now they go, "Oh, I sound like Jesse," and they're still caught up with the world, and they're still taking it on. They have no idea what they're saying. It sounded good to say that, and so now they just said it with no real meaning, like they do with anything. Because if they could really see, then they would know they're not sounding like Jesse. I don't care who said it, right? But they don't really see, so they're just repeating somebody else that they admire. They made another hero, and so they're repeating that hero, and they feel good. So you're right, don't let it bother you. It's just still blind people.
Even other people say that about the person now
Yeah.
saying it. You know, it's not necessarily the person saying it.
Right.
Someone is saying, you sound like Jesse. You're being a...
Yeah, if someone say, "You sound like Jesse," give them the finger. I almost did the finger.
Okay.
I almost did the finger, I didn't mean to. It was like my hand was waving. But no, as you are doing, overcome the world. And along this road of overcoming, so many things are going to get in the way. Don't fall for it. Let them say and do what they want. And let me ask, how did you deal with the boyfriend, the guy this week? Yes.
Well, how do you think it went?
You crossed my mind. I believe, I could be wrong, that this time you dealt with it totally differently. You didn't play the game.
Well, I didn't hear from him, and I thought
You say you did not?
I did not hear from him.
Oh, good.
So then I was like, okay,
Well,
I'm just
not
gonna
good,
be, I'm just gonna follow up on it and just be like, hey, when do you have time to talk today? And he was like, hey, I'm in bed, I'm really sick. So I did not reply to that at all. I went to Miami for a festival, and I believe it was not God, but a spirit sent the same situation again.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it was like turned on its volume. And I was like, oh, here we go again.
It repeats itself until you overcome it.
Yeah, and that's why I was just laughing. I was like, listen, I just had this experience and I cannot take any of this seriously. And I walked away from it. But when I came back here to LA, he texted me and said, I'm sorry for not showing up to our conversation, and when can we have our talk? And I haven't responded to it because, yeah, I was like, I just felt constantly, what do I do with it? Whatever I respond, I feel like I don't really have an answer for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's my ego wanting to have the conversation, is it my ego not responding? Whatever I say, is that just my ego that wants something out of it, right? So I've just left it at that. And
Nice.
I will have to confront it today, but yeah.
Amazing. As far as having fun in life and career and all that, you want to overcome that. And what you're overcoming is identifying with it. You can still enjoy your career. You can be good at what you do. You can go to a party, as the young lady was saying Jesus did, and you can have fun at the party. But you won't identify with the party. And when the party is over, the party is over. You won't feel like, oh, now I got to go home all by myself, or I got to go somewhere else for some more fun. You won't get any sense of identity of it, but you would totally enjoy it.
I think one of the things that also came to me was, like, okay, yes, there is this just like I'm going to my job, right?
Yeah.
But then there is this planning on how to evolve and how to grow with your job and how to move forward. And I think that's also where maybe I just have to pray on it. But how do you, dream about, not really dream, but how to move forward without, because in one way or another it will be about the ego in one way or another that wants something better or that wants to have more money or more success in a way, right? And I think that's where I kind of was like, should I just go to work every day with no idea about, like no desire about the future and no thinking about it, no planning?
Yeah, you should definitely go to work without deciding about the future because it doesn't exist. It's an illusion. But whatever you're working on, you can see how to enhance your project, whatever you're working on. If you can make it better, make it better. You should make it better. You want to make money so you can live on earth, but money is not your life. It's not like your identity. It's just tools you're using to live on earth. And God created you so you can do that. He gave you a talent so that you can live on earth. You can make money, you can buy food, you pay your rent. You're supposed to be doing that. He made that for you as well. But just don't think that that's who I am and I'm all this and I'm all that, because even that comes from God. The ability to do your best at what you're doing. So you should.
Nice.
You can do practical planning for your job, but not for life.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it is, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think I've been having just, even when I was away now, I was having a lot of, just constantly amazed about the human mind and myself as well, right? Like whenever I notice something triggering me or I'm being kidnapped for a little moment and then I'm coming back, like emotionally or with my thoughts or how I identify with something.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, it's just amazing how we, it's like, everyone's there and pretending that they are something or have a job or what's cool and what's not, and this pain and someone hurt you. And you're standing there and I'm like, wow, like what are we doing? It's just amazing how the human mind works.
The human mind is evil.
Yeah.
The intellect is pure evil. And it destroys everyone that doesn't overcome it. It really is evil.
But so if God created everything, like even the devil,
Right.
is he the creator of the devil? You know, why is it not taking all of it away, right? If he has that power.
Why he hasn't?
Yeah.
The beauty is he has. You just don't know it. You discovered it. He has taken it all away. And the devil has no power, no authority, no nothing. It's just that he made you think he does by making you think it's you when it's really him. He can't destroy you. He influences you to destroy yourself. But he has no power. He's weak. He has zero power. If you didn't listen to the thoughts, he could never touch you. But the only reason he can influence you is because you believe thoughts. All thoughts are lies, but you don't totally understand it yet. The devil was defeated when Christ came. And he brought us back, and we're really free. But you just don't know it because you've identified, from the day you popped out of your mama's womb, you start creating a false image of yourself. They cause you to do it, and then the world caused you to do it. You have created a false image of you, and that's what's missing. You're living with a false imagination, which is evil and is the identity of the devil. But he has been defeated. And in reality, you are free.
Yeah, because when I've been observing myself with this situation, with this man, like, you know, I don't want anything from him in a way, right? But still in myself, it's just amazing how this relationship that we have inside ourselves to happenings and people, it was just amazed me how it's all just an illusion, right?
It's
like,
all an illusion.
Like the emotions and the thoughts around it. And I was like, wow, it's crazy that I processing all of this, and it's just my own relationship to this situation.
Yes.
And I'm going around processing it, shedding my ego, surrendering to it, and still it's just going on inside of me.
All inside of you.
And it's just, yeah, it was just Yeah. And I was just observing it and amazed of like, wow. Because it doesn't really exist, right? It's just my own relationship to it that makes it exist.
That's the only thing. Nothing exists except for your idea about it, your relationship with it. And everything that's happening to you is happening inside of you. Nobody else is making it happen. It's not even happening to the real you, but it's just happening inside of your world because of your relationship. You believe it, and you react to it, and you believe it some more, and you react to it. But nothing is really happening to the real you at all. Zero. It's all in your mind. It's all in your world.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It is, and it's, you know, it's so easy to say other people, you know, you can let it go right now, and if you don't let it go right now, you like living in your hell, right? It's easy to say that to other people.
Right.
And then I was observing myself, and I thought, I don't want to carry this around. I don't want anything from this person, but still the spirit is testing me, right? Like emotionally and in my thoughts. And I said several times, like in my silent prayer, I was like, take it away. Like, why is it
Beautiful.
keep reoccurring? Because I don't want anything to do with it. It was not that big of a deal. Like, in the end of the day, it was not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And still, the spirit just kept testing me. And I just felt like I don't want to live in hell. I don't want this at all. But still, it keeps testing me, right?
Right.
And I just had to sit with it because obviously there is something there for me to overcome that's been a boomerang in my life. And it's not about necessarily this situation or person. It's just dressed differently every time it comes back into my life.
Yes.
And it's this boomerang that's been keep coming back that I also needed to overcome.
Amazing. And if you, and you will if you stay with it, and you will if you stay with it, I sound like a broken record. And you will if you stay with it, you're going to see that it's all just a thought. And that it's an empty thought traveling by your forehead inside of you. It's not even outside of you. It's in here traveling, but you connect the emotions to it the moment you identify with the thought. If you didn't ever identify with the thought, it would just be an empty thought traveling by. It's like when the young lady was saying that, they say you sound like Jesse. They heard somebody else say that, and they had that person on a pedestal, and now they're saying it. They have caught on to another thought. And all they've done is stop sounding like Jesse, now they sound like this other person, right? But they don't see it because they had this thought of this person that made their God, and it became emotional to them, and they're looking at still staying in the same hell. But it's just an empty thought if you don't build anything around the thought. If you don't build anything, the emotion cannot confirm the thought. And if the emotion cannot confirm the thought has nothing to hold on to.
Yeah.
It would be like you standing at a party at the wall hoping somebody come and ask you for a dance. And some ugly guy walk by, and you're like, oh, I don't want to dance with that. You don't want to dance with him, right? So you just let him pass. And then some good-looking guy come by, you're like, ooh, yeah. I want to dance with him. The thought and emotion are now prompting you to want to dance with this person. But let's say that person passed you by. Now you're like, I don't want to dance with you anyway. He danced with that other, he's not that attractive. You start judging that person because the thoughts tell you, well, he thinks he's better than you or something, right? But if you didn't build anything around the thought, neither guy would bother. It would just be two guys walking by with no meaning.
Yeah.
If you can see that, you can be free right now. It's just a thought. And then once you hook that feeling up to the thought by believing it, now you blame the world for making you feel that way. You blame this. You feel like, oh, God, help me. I thought I was free. Because the pain, you feel the pain in the body, but it's not your pain. And sometimes the pain is so hard, it feels like it's your pain because you do feel the pain, but it's not your pain. Because now you've identified with the thought, and you're now identified with the pain, whether so-called good pain or bad pain. But it's just a thought. That's why I say just watch the thoughts. Have no relationship with the thoughts. It's just a thought. And you're on your way, and it's a lifetime job. And just work on it, and you will be able to go to a party if you want to and have so much fun. But you won't identify with the fun. When the fun is over, you're going to get in your car and go home, and you're still at peace. And you don't feel like you got to call somebody on your way home because you want to keep the party going. You won't get a sense of identity from it. And if a guy hit on you, it just be a guy hit on you. And if you want to go to dinner, okay, let's go to dinner. But it won't be like, oh, I hope I get this one. He got a lot of money, or this or that, right? You won't put on a front. You'll just be yourself. You enjoy the dinner. You enjoy the date, and it just be that. It won't be a big deal. If he call again, fine. If he doesn't, fine. I was talking to a man over yonder, way over there, and he was saying that he's waking up. He started to see dating differently, and he be seeing all these pretty girls around, pretty ladies, and he want to talk to them, and he see that the girls want to talk to him too, but when he think about it, it just feel like too much work. I just know how this is going to turn out, so he doesn't bother with it, right? And then he was telling me that one day he saw this girl, and they were looking at each other, and they start talking, and all of a sudden he started lying to the girl. He like, I lied. And I'm like, why am I lying? I don't care if I get this girl or not, he said. But he found himself lying, and he couldn't believe it. It was so funny. And that's what it's all about, seeing what's going on inside of you, and seeing that it's not you. And you will have paradise right here on earth. It will be amazing. And it's going to be fun working on you. It will become, because the more you get, the more you want.
Yeah. And I feel like I've been having a lot of fun with it because it's just, that's the purpose of life, getting to know yourself.
Yes.
And I've just also been observing, to not have any expectations from anyone, because I feel like that's also something that creates pain, like from whoever it is.
It does.
It feels like every time I meet someone, it's almost like I'm meeting them for the first time again, because there is no expectations what this person is going to give me or act.
Right on.
Even if we've known each other for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because that's also a sense of like attachment and identifying with it. And I'm still overcoming that, but I can really see it, how I have expectations on whoever it is.
Amazing.
And like every time it has to be like meeting this person almost for the first time again, and that there is no expectations whatsoever.
Nice.
How this
Stay
person
with it, stay with it. This is why most people won't make it. Most people are not even willing to get to where you are right now, because they don't, first of all, they don't feel like working on themselves. Secondly, they don't want to really give up the world. Thirdly, it just takes too much time to work on yourself, they say. They don't want to, most people don't do the silent prayer every morning, every night. They don't want to work on themselves. They want a quick fix, and they want it now. If it doesn't go the way their mindset said that it should go, they're done with it. They're back in their hell. And going back to hell is real bad. It's worse than leaving hell. Going back into it is devastating. But stay with it, stay with it. I don't care what, stay with it. You're on your way. Amazing. Yes, ma'am. Stay with it.
Just to add to that, and then I also have a question. In the beginning, when I had that sense of, like, what is the point? What is the purpose of my life?
Oh, yeah, let me just respond to that. There's one purpose in life, and that is to overcome the fallen state. That's the purpose of life. To come out of your hell. It's been made so you can come out of your hell. And when you come out of your hell, life will happen on its own. It will happen. Forget about, what my purpose in life. Did you know that the devil give you purposes in life? The devil is the one that tells you you need a purpose in life. That's not coming from God. And the world tell you, what's your purpose in life? And the devil tell you when you're in that mindset, he's like, you don't even have a purpose in life. What's your reason for living? You don't know what you want. And now you walk around looking like a dumb person looking for a purpose. Doesn't that sound dumb? You go to college and pay money, buku money, to find a purpose, and then you find out that the professionals hate the Jews. And you're in debt. And when God said, don't look for your purpose, he said your purpose will find you. And that is so true. But the world and the devil says should look for a purpose, and people go out looking for a purpose. You don't even do what God says to do, but you would do what the devil say do. The devil is the one that has you looking for a purpose. And if you don't find it, he's not going to let you find it. You don't feel like anything. Life ain't worth living. And then if you do find a job that you like doing, he's going to tell you, this ain't your purpose, it's just a job. And you still have problems.